The average person treats saving like leftovers. They pay rent, buy groceries, cover the car note, swipe for coffee, hit the bar on Friday, and whatever's left maybe gets tossed into a savings account. That's why nothing ever ends up there. Billionaires invert this completely. The moment money hits their account, a fixed percentage is automatically removed and sent somewhere it cannot be touched: investments, equity, productive assets. Then and only then do they live on what remains. This isn't theory. It's documented in The Richest Man in Babylon, the 1926 book Warren Buffett, Mark Cuban, and dozens of self-made billionaires have publicly cited as foundational. The principle is brutally simple. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. Not the banks, not the landlords, not Amazon's, yours. Here's the psychology most people miss. When you pay yourself last, your brain treats savings as a sacrifice, and the brain refuses sustained sacrifice. When you pay yourself first, your brain treats your remaining income as your real budget, and it adapts within 30 days. You don't feel poorer, you feel exactly the same. But behind the scenes, a wealth machine is silently being built while you sleep. Start with 10%, automate it, make it invisible. The version of you 10 years from now will weep with gratitude. Here's the counterintuitive truth almost no one talks about. Billionaires often drive cheaper cars than middle-class professionals. Mark Zuckerberg drove a Honda Fit. Ingvar Kamprad, founder of IKEA and worth tens of billions, drove a 1993 Volvo until he died. Why? Because they understood a definition that 95% of people get wrong. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out. That's it. That's the whole framework Robert Kiyosaki built an empire teaching, and it's the framework billionaires live by intuitively. A new car loses 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot, then drains you with insurance, gas, maintenance, and registration. It is a liability dressed as a reward. Most people, the moment they get a raise, immediately upgrade their lifestyle. Bigger apartment, newer car, fancier phone. Economists call this lifestyle inflation, and it's the single biggest reason high earners stay broke. A $300,000 surgeon with $290,000 in lifestyle expenses is functionally poorer than a $60,000 teacher who saves $15,000. Billionaires obsessively redirect cash flow into things that generate more cash flow: businesses, dividend stocks, real estate, intellectual property, equity in companies. Every dollar becomes a soldier sent out to recruit more soldiers. Until one day, those soldiers are earning more for them than their day job ever could. Here's the psychological shift almost no one makes. Ordinary people protect their money and spend their time freely. Billionaires protect their time and spend their money freely to buy more of it. Naval Ravikant, the founder of AngelList, talks about something called your hourly rate. Not what your employer pays you, but the value of your time when fully deployed on what only you can do. If yours is $200 an hour and someone offers to clean your house for $40, refusing that offer isn't frugality. It's mathematical insanity. You just lost $160 of leverage to save $40. A study from the University of British Columbia tracked thousands of millionaires and found that those who spent money to buy back time, outsourcing chores, commuting less, hiring assistants, reported significantly higher life satisfaction and, crucially, higher long-term earnings. Time spent on what you uniquely do well compounds. Time spent doing laundry does not. The dark psychology here is sharp. Society conditions you to feel guilty for spending money to save time. I should mow my own lawn. I should drive myself 2 hours. I should answer my own emails. That guilt is engineered to keep you trapped in transactional thinking. Billionaires shed it early. They understand that money is renewable and time is not, and the moment that flips in your mind, your decisions begin selecting themselves. Here's a statistic that should disturb you. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income. The average broke person has 1, and it's the one most likely to disappear in a recession. This isn't about hustle culture. It's about structural resilience. When 2008 hit and millions of single-income households were destroyed, families with diversified income, a job, a rental property, a small online business, dividend stocks, a side consultancy, barely felt it. One stream dried up, the others kept flowing. They didn't just survive the crash. They bought assets at 50% off while everyone else was panic selling. Streams of income generally fall into 7 categories: earned income, profit income from a business, interest income, dividend income, rental income, capital gains, and royalty income. Most people have 1. Billionaires deliberately collect them like chess pieces, each one independent, each one with a different risk profile, each one capable of growing while they sleep. Here's the practical play. You don't need 7 tomorrow. You need a second one this year. Pick something asymmetric, a skill you can monetize on weekends, a small portfolio of dividend stocks, a digital product that sells while you sleep. The number doesn't matter. What matters is the moment you stop being a one-pipe-fits-all economy of one and become a system. Once you cross that line, your psychology around work, risk, and time changes forever. Here's where most people fall apart. They earn money, then they spend it. Maybe they save a little. Almost none of them reinvest aggressively. Billionaires do the opposite. They reinvest with an obsession that looks irrational from the outside. Jeff Bezos famously kept Amazon unprofitable for nearly a decade by funneling every dollar back into infrastructure, expansion, and acquisition. Wall Street ridiculed him. Then Amazon became one of the most valuable companies on Earth. He wasn't gambling. He understood compounding at a depth most adults never reach. Albert Einstein allegedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Whether he said it or not, the math is undeniable. $1,000 invested at 10% annual return becomes roughly $17,449 in 30 years. But $1,000 invested while continuously adding $200 per month, it becomes nearly $400,000 in the same window. The growth doesn't come from your initial investment. It comes from your refusal to stop feeding the machine. The psychological barrier here is severe. Reinvesting means watching others spend on vacations, gadgets, and dinners while you delay gratification for a future they can't yet see. You will feel out of step. You will feel like you're missing life. You're not. You're buying years of freedom while they're buying weekends of dopamine. 5 years of patience here outperforms 40 years of paycheck-to-paycheck living. Make peace with the discomfort. The discomfort is the entry fee. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. 2,000 years later, neuroscience confirms what Stoics knew intuitively. The single greatest predictor of financial success isn't IQ, education, or even income. It's delayed gratification, the ability to choose a larger reward later over a smaller reward now. The Stanford marshmallow experiment tracked children who could resist eating one marshmallow for 15 minutes in exchange for 2. Decades later, those children had higher SAT scores, better health, lower rates of addiction, and significantly higher net worths than the impulsive group. The variable wasn't intelligence. It was the capacity to hold a long horizon in mind while standing in front of immediate temptation. Billionaires are walking marshmallow experiments. While the average person checks their portfolio daily and panic sells at the first dip, billionaires think in decades. Charlie Munger said the first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it unnecessarily. They don't react to noise. They don't chase trends. They sit, they wait, they let time do the heavy lifting. This is the deepest mindset shift of all. The world is engineered to fragment your attention into seconds, notifications, news cycles, dopamine hits. The person who can pull back and operate on a 10-year horizon while everyone else operates on a 10-minute one has an almost unfair advantage. Master that, and the money becomes a side effect. CTA, 30 seconds. If even one of these 6 habits hit you in the chest just now, you owe yourself the rest of this journey. Subscribe to MindsetMaster. Every video on this channel is built to rewire how you think about money, time, and discipline using the same principles billionaires and Stoic philosophers have used for centuries. We're a small community right now, but we're growing fast, and the people who join early are the ones who get the deepest transformation. Tap subscribe. Turn on the bell. Don't let this be the last video that almost changed your life. Outro 30-45 seconds. Here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. You already knew most of this. Somewhere underneath the noise, you've always known that paying yourself first, buying assets, protecting your time, building multiple streams, reinvesting relentlessly, and thinking long-term would change your life. The gap between you and the wealthy isn't information. It's execution. It's the willingness to do the boring, unglamorous, deeply uncomfortable work for years before anyone claps for you. So here's your challenge. Today, not tomorrow, not Monday, today, pick one of these 6 habits and take a single concrete action on it. Open the brokerage account. Set up the automatic transfer. Cancel the lifestyle expense. Start the side income. One action, today. Because the version of you 10 years from now is being built right now in this moment by what you choose to do in the next 60 minutes. Choose well. We'll see you in the next one.